It's a beautiful day in the European capital, and I say that appropriately enough because we are just a few miles down the road from Brussels here in Belgium. Good afternoon and welcome to Genk for the second round of the CIK FIA European Championships. This is Ian Silvestrin bringing you the live commentary for our three finals here this afternoon at this legendary circuit that was built way back in 1982. Here we are just, as I said, a few miles down the road from the Belgian capital, the European capital, the home of the EU, and it's just a few hours after the Eurovision Song Contest took place in, I think it was Ukraine last night, the event won by Portugal, so it's a very European feel here, appropriately enough, for the second round of the Euro Champs. Well, you can see the karts are on the grid for the KZ2 class. There is the pole sitter, Leon Kuhler from Germany. He has been brilliant here this weekend. He will start on the front row alongside Alex Irlando. Well, it is the first race for the KZ2 category, but it's the second round of the series because we actually had the first event for the KZ category at Sarno in Italy a few weeks ago. As you look at the Frenchman Pierre Loubert on screen in the 309 Zanardi kart. So before we start today's racing activity here at Genk in Belgium, let's have a look back what happened the first round of the championship, Sarno, Naples, just a few weeks ago. A tremendous start to the 2017 series. Of course, the KZ class, that was won by the reigning world champion, Paolo De Conto. As I mentioned, it is the first race for the KZ2 category. They line up on the grid now. You can see the flags blowing in the background. We had a dreadful forecast earlier in the week, but fortunately, the strong wind is blowing the forecast bad weather out towards the North Sea. That is Leon Kuhler from Frankfurt in Germany. He has been brilliant. He qualified on pole position in the first group of three yesterday morning with a 52.067. 4 heats, 4 wins. He was superb, and he starts on the front row alongside Alex Irlando, the Italian, driving for the French CPB Sport Sodi kart team. Alex third in last year's European Championships. There is his teammate 306, Tom Louet, also for the team run by Paul Bizagnon from Alice in France. Tom starts on grid 3 alongside the driver who won this event less than 12 months ago because we're here earlier than usual here in May. Matteo Vigano, he won the final round of the Euro Champs. There he is, the Italian from Milan. The factory Tony kart, number 301, could very well make it 2 wins in as many years here in Belgium this afternoon. Well, the tension is rising. The excitement is in the air. Pierre Loubert gets ready aboard the 309 Zanardi kart, a dark horse here this afternoon, powered by the Perilla, just lurking thereabouts all weekend in the top 5. Riccardo Longhi from Italy. Of course, he started the year by winning the famous Andrea Margutti Trophy event in Italy, held at South Garda Karting. You can see we are in the Belgian forest, just a few miles from the city of Genk, one of the largest cities after Brussels in the Benelux region. This is Belgium. There is the start-finish straight. As I mentioned, the original circuit built way back in 1982 before being renovated around about a decade ago. Martin van Leven, the almost local. He is a Dutchman, but the Dutch border is actually only about 10 miles from here. And Martin has actually run from his home to the circuit just for fun a few times over the years. Francesco Celenta. We come from his home circuit of Sarno, Naples, where he raced a few weeks ago in the KZ category. Francesco, 3.25 for the Praga team on grid 8. Emil Skaris, the Swede for Ward Racing on grid number 9. In the TM-powered Tony Kart, and he starts alongside Alessio Piccini, the son of the legendary 4-time world champion Alessandro Piccini, who first won the Formula C World Championship driving a DAP kart way back in 1987. Alessio starting out of grid number 10 in the factory 307 Vortex-powered Tony Kart. Genk in Belgium, always a very popular stop-off. It hosted the last round of the series last year. Of course, Belgium with a long and illustrious history over the years, not only with their drivers, but also with their circuits. The legendary Nivelles circuit is not too far from here. Of course, Nivelles hosting the 1973 and 1980 World Championships. As the 1-minute board goes up, the mechanics leave the grid, as do the, as ever, beautiful Belgian grid girls. A lot of history associated with Belgian motorsport. The Spa-Francorchamps circuit not too far away either. And unfortunately, and I say that with respect, a round of the World Rallycross Championship taking place also this afternoon, around about 100 miles here from Genk. We are ready for a start. This is KZ2. It is 23 laps around this 1,350 metre circuit. The driver to the left of your screen driving for KSM Schumacher Racing from nearby Cologne. The green flag flies. The 125cc engines are pushed into life. And we're ready for the first of our 3 finals here this afternoon. Kula, as we mentioned, qualified on pole 4 heat wins from 4 starts. He has been superb. If he gets away, they will not catch him. They need to make a move at the start. Tom Louet knows that. He tried it in the final heat, eventually finishing second in that one this morning. As we take a look at the grid for you. Kula on pole, Irlando on the outside. Louet Vigano, Lubert Longhi, Martin van Leven, the local favourite, Francesco Celenta, Skaris, and Alessio Piccini. 6th row of the grid is the Swede Alex Dahlberg, alongside Hubert Petit in the Sodi kart. The driver from Nice in France, Nico Gonzalez, on the 7th row of the grid for the Maranello team, and alongside him, the driver who won here in 2015, the German Alexander Schmitz. Pico Pachuska, Rosati, the Dutchman Dylan Davies, Paolo Ippolito starts alongside the boy from Brazil, Gaetano Del Mauro, in the 355 CRG. Jean Louet out of grid 28. He did not finish. His first 2 heats, had a 5th in his 3rd heat and won the final heat this morning. He's got tremendous speed, but has to start a long way back, the 14th row of the grid. Indeed, he was lucky just to scrape through to the final, as was the driver from the eternal city of Rome, Francesco Iacovacci, in the 313 LKE powered Luxor car. The final row of the grid, the Swede Andreas Johansson, and the driver from Oman, Abdullah Al-Rawahi, in the 341 TM powered Viral Art. Kula, as cool as ever, forgive the pun, but he has been in dynamite form this week. He looks behind him, says, come and get me, boys. This race is mine. And there are many people here at the circuit that would believe that. He has been in awesome form all weekend. Starts this one on pole position, leaves the field ground on the back straight, getting heat into the Bridgestone tyres. The wind is picking up. We should get this race in on a dry track. We have had all the racing on a dry circuit. But as most of us have found, whether it's an Apple, iPhone, Android, whatever the weather app, well, a weather forecast in Belgium is about as useful as a clutch and a starter motor on a go-kart. Very, very changeable. But hopefully we do race this on a dry circuit. Tom Louet from France, the driver from the CPB Sport Team. Can he take a big victory here this afternoon? Martijn van Leeuwen 327. The Energy Course team, of course, Energy winning the title in 2015 with Joel Johansson, who's here this weekend. Energy Kart, 12 times European champions. Martijn van Leeuwen wants to make it 13. He starts on grid number 7. Stand by for this one. Kula pulls into pole position. Watch him off the line. The rest of the field still coming around at the back of the corner. 34 karts to get the green light. Figuratively speaking, in a few moments, we'll have 4 red lights when they go out. We will race 23 laps, 30 kilometres of the legendary Genk circuit here in Belgium. The first race of the season for the KZ2 category. This will be racing dynamite. We wait for the green flag at the back of the grid. Johansson, and there is Abdullah Al-Rawahi, pulls into position on grid number 34. The green flag flies at the back. We're ready to race Genk, Belgium, the first race of the KZ2 European season. We are green. Kohler gets a good start. They're drag racing off the line. Louis back into third spot, but it's Irlando around the outside, the front row of the grid. Kohler into second spot. We've already got a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be something else. In fact, it's Matteo Vigano up into second spot. Kohler's lost out. Kohler's actually, this is the worst he's had it all weekend when it counts. So let's recap it. At the early part of the first lap, Alex Irlando started on the outside of the front row of the grid. He got off the line best. It was a drag race into the first corner. He leads from the driver who won here last year, Matteo Vigano. And it looks as though the Soddy kart, indeed, of Tom Louet, he's in third spot. So the CPB Sport Karts, they're running 1 and 3. Vigano is in second. Kula, he hasn't had karts in front of him all weekend. He's in P4. Ricardo Long is 5. Up the inside goes Vigano. He takes the lead. Matteo Vigano leads the race that he won here not 1 year ago. He won in a top kart. In 2016, he leads the first race of the Euro Series for the green team. Irlando back to second. It's still Italians 1 and 2. The French driver Louet goes through on his teammate. Here comes Kohler. Here comes the German. He needs to recover from that bad start. He's up the inside. Risky stuff from the KSM Schumacher team pilot. Ricardo Longhi back there in 5th spot from Lubert. And don't discount Martijn van Leeuwen. Big move down the inside. Francesco Cialenta takes the Swede Emil Scaris. No! Scaris gets him back on the exit. This race is about to come alive. They come round to complete their second lap. The race leader from Milan in Italy, Matteo Vigano. Up the inside, the Soddy kart drivers change positions. And you know who's going to benefit? The German, Leon Kula. This is the start of their third lap. They've completed 2. There is the pole sitter, the driver who dominated the heats. For KSM Schumacher Racing, he's in third. He's all on the back of the 302 kart. He's down the inside. Oh, makes the move. Irlando gave him space, but he had no choice. The green machines run 1 and 2 here at Genk in Belgium. Irlando goes back a spot. Pierre Lubert, he's on the charge also. Martijn van Leeuwen right behind him. Matteo Vigano skipping out. You can see he's already put 10 or 15 metres on the rest of the field. Up the inside, Pierre Lubert loses a spot to the Soddy kart of Louet. Tom goes fourth, his teammate Alex Irlando just in front of him. Look at the speed from Kula though. This is only the start of the fourth lap, having completed 3, and he's already just starting to edge away from the French machine, driven by the Italian. The German in second, the Italian out front, Vigano with 0.8 of a second over the similar kart. The two Tony karts, Vigano and Kula. Let's recap the order for you. Vigano, Kula, Irlando Luay, Lubert, Van Leeuwen's P6. Ricardo Longhi goes through in the Birol Art. Emil Scaris, Chalenta, and Nico Gonzalez from Nice in France in the Maranello kart rounds out the 10. The race now settles down as they complete lap number 4. Irlando in third spot, Lubert up the inside of Louet, and he loses out. He's lost a ton of time. He's out in the marbles. He loses 4 places in just 1 corner. No surprise to see Kula sets the fastest lap of the race. Chalenta goes through, takes Scaris, Gonzalez, also Dahlberg in the second of the Birol Arts, just outside the top 10. Piccini, he's lost a couple off the start. The Italian is back in 12th. Head of Picot, Bachuska, Hubert Petit, Paolo Ippolito, Rosati, Ben Tonquist, Renaudin, and the Dutchman Dylan Davies rounds out the top 20. 1, 2, and 3. Vigano, Kula, Irlando. Up the inside goes Van Leeuwen. He picks up another one. Desperate to win on his home circuit. He's now on the tail of Ricardo Longhi, the Birol Art. You saw Longhi signal to the Dutchman. The leaders are getting away. Doesn't Martin know it? He wants to win. He's desperate to get up on the podium here on his home circuit. Genk in Belgium. He's 1.4 seconds back. The front 3 are pulling away. If they start to dice among themselves, well, it may give hope to the likes of Longhi, Van Leeuwen, Tom Louet, Scaris, Gonzalez. The Frenchman now up into 8th in the Maranello kart. Irlando sits in behind Kula, lets the German do all the work as they set about chasing the Italian, Matteo Vigano. They come round to complete their 6th lap. Up the starts, finish straight at 143 k's an hour. Irlando just shadows the German. The gap 0.4 of a second as Ricardo Longhi sets the fastest lap of the race. The Birol Art 1 step off the podium. Actually starting to chase the leaders. Kula looks behind him, he cannot shake. The Italian, Alex Irlando, driving the French car. 3rd in last year's European Series. He sees for 2nd and 3rd on the podium, but it's really also for the win. Matteo Vigano, 4 tenths ahead of this battle. Emil Scaris, the Swede, in position 6. Just sets the fastest first sector of the entire race. Unfortunately, we've already lost a couple of drivers. Rosati, Chalenta, they've retired, along with the Swede David Forsloff and the Brazilian Mauro Di Gaetano. This time Irlando is close. He's really close. He's up the inside. He says to Leon, if you're not going to set about catching Matteo, I'll do the work myself. The Sodi kart splits the green machines. Alex Irlando, 3rd in the Euro Champs last year. He now runs P2 in kart 302. Trying to catch 301, the leader, Vigano. Down into turn number 2, a textbook move. Kula tried to fight. He was actually pushed out into the marbles and lost quite a bit of engine RPM and momentum on the exit. Still sits there in 3rd spot, and he's starting to be caught by Ricardo Longhi. There is the Italian in the Birol Art. The red karts from Lissone in Milan have been super impressive this weekend. Not only in KZ2, but also in KZ, with the likes of Kramers, Tiene, and Teresen, who we will see in action later on this afternoon. Van Leeuwen goes through, Scaris, Louet, Gonzalez, Dahlberg, Lubert, Petit, Ippolito's up into 11th from 20th on the grid, 1 ahead of Piccini, Bachuska, Renaudin, the Dutchman, Dylan Davies, Tonquist, Chebrien, Pico, Rasmussen, and Alessandro Giardelli sits in position number 20. We also have to tell you, unfortunately, Alexander Schmitz, a driver from Germany who won this race in 2015, joins the list of retirements. The CRG Holland entry consistently in the top 5 for the heats. He was looking to make it 2 wins in 3 years. That's not going to happen this afternoon. He has pulled into the pits and is out of this first round of the KZ2 European Championships here at Genk in Belgium. Vigano rides the ripple strip down through the gearbox. Lets the Vortex engine do the work. Up the back straight they go. Cooler. Well, he's actually losing time and he's being caught by the Italian Longhi down through the chicane near the radio-controlled model race Genk circuit, a tremendous complex here on the outskirts of the Genk city. There is the old circuit in the background. Vigano, he's got a lead of 0.7 of a second. Irlando starting to catch him. He's just on the faster second sector. There's Longhi. He's in the slipstream now of the German. Let's watch him down into turn number 1. Down the inside, will he make the move? Cooler closes the door. And in doing so, he's lost another bit of time to Alex Irlando in the Sodi kart. Longhi wants to make it 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. The green machine's running first and third at the moment. Vigano, superb. Down the inside at the end of the back straight. Cooler tries to give him room. He goes round the outside, takes the high line, and says, no, you don't, Ricardo. I haven't dominated the whole weekend to just fall off the podium quite so easy. He looks behind him. Longhi does the same. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a race on our hands. The Birolart now in the slipstream of the Tony kart. He will try again down the inside. Oh, Riccardo Longhi, the Italian, is now up on the podium. Leon Cooler, who has dominated the whole weekend, he's back in 4th. He did not get off the line well. He was back to 2nd. Irlando took him. You just saw Riccardo Longhi down the inside. This would almost be an injustice if the German does not reach the podium. He is driving the wheels off that kart, desperate not only to take the win, but at least get up onto the podium. The next problem he's going to have is in the form of the local driver, Martin van Leven, who is catching him in the energy kart. Well, we see 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. It looks as though that's the way because he's losing time to Longhi already. He's setting about after his 2 countrymen, the Italians running 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Then the German Cooler, he's in 4th, the Dutchman Van Leven. Then the Super Swede, Emil Scaris for Ward Racing. He tried it once, this was the 2nd attempt. Down into pit corner, Riccardo Longhi. If you don't mind, I'll put my Birolart up onto the 3rd step of the podium. There's Scaris going through. Tom Louet, Gonzalez, Dalberg, Petit, Ippolito, Pachuska, Vigano, Irlando. The gap still 0.7 of a second. Vigano puts in a faster 2nd sector. Onto the straight one more time. We have now passed half race distance. Longhi looks behind him. Cooler. He cannot believe what is happening to him. Many believed he would walk away with this one. The fairy tale seemingly will not eventuate this afternoon unless he can do something miraculous. Irlando in 2nd spot. Longhi. They grab 5th gear up the back straight. Van Leven as late as you'd like on the brakes. Scaris turns in. Then it's Louet, Gonzalez, Dalberg, Pachuska in another of the Sodi karts rounds out the 10. An even more impressive performance from Vigano, given that he was unwell, suffering from the effects of flu and fever earlier in the week. To be perfectly blunt, he looks like death. What a recovery. Difficult start with the green team for 2017. Can he make it 2 wins in as many years here at Genk? Gonzalez goes through. 1 spot ahead of Alex Dalberg. There's Pachuska. Ippolito goes through in the Lenzo kart, the chassis that won the World Cup here. The team that won the World Cup here in 2011 with the Dutchman Joey Hansen. There is Abdullah Al-Arawahi, the Omanian, chasing Enrico Prosperi and Jesper Westerholm. Jean Louis just a couple of spots ahead of them. And they're trying to chase down the driver from Tel Aviv in Israel, the 16-year-old Ariel Levy, who rounds out position number 24. Vigano lets the kart do all the work. The Bridgestone tyres drift on the bitumen. We'll check the gap for you. It was 0.8 of a second, 0.861 to be precise. This time across the line, he's blown it out to 0.9 of a second. The fairy tale was supposed to be that of the German Leon Kuhler. He's back in fourth under severe pressure from Martin van Leven. Van Leven himself wants to get up on the podium. There is the Dutchman in the energy car. Scaris, ahead of Louis Gonzalez. Dalberg trying to get past the Maranello car off the Frenchman just in front of him. The rest of the field streamed through down the back straight. Matteo Vigano, he won here July 2016 when it was the concluding round of the series. It's the first round in 2017, but it hasn't been so easy. Remember, a year ago, he won racing for the top kart racing team. He was Parilla powered. 2017, it's all new. He's painted green. Vigano leads for the Tony Kart team by 0.9 of a second. Irlando in second spot, and Riccardo Longhi makes it three different manufacturers but three Italian drivers on the podium currently with 6.5 laps remaining. Al-Arawahi goes through, chasing down Prosperi. We go back to the front. Matteo Vigano. What a superb performance. It's not over yet though. Can Irlando reel him in? He would have to catch him by something like 0.2 of a second a lap though. He's running out of time. He's going to come round to put 17 laps in the books. The Tony Kart Racing Team pilot across the line. We'll check the gap for you. 0.9 of a second. It remains as such. It's blown out just a few thousandths. Irlando. A bit of trivia for you. He became the first Italian ever to win the Rotax Max Grand Finals at Portimao in Portugal back in 2015. Third in the European Championships last year. A superb young talent from Bari in the south of Italy. As Vigano from Milan goes down through the gearbox, through the chicane towards the old part of the Genk circuit. Here in Belgium, the first round of the 2017 European Championships for the KZ2 category. Irlando, aggressive over the ripple strip that time. Van Leven still stuck in P5. There's Dalberg going through, still can't get by the Frenchman. Gonzalez in the Maranello car in front of him. Ippolito just behind that battle, trying to chase the Lithuanian. Rokas Bachuska in the Sodi kart. Speaking of Sodi karts, Irlando is not catching Vigano. The gap has now blown out to the psychological barrier of 1.07 seconds. Irlando will know it because he can see it on the big screen. It's like a football stadium here on the start-finish straight. They can see the times, they can see the live images of themselves here at Genk as they race up the straight at more than 85 miles an hour. Top speed of around about 143 k's an hour, 4.5 laps now remain. For Vigano's, the sun comes out to shine incredibly here at Genk, Belgium, Northern Europe. Down through the gearbox, the inside rear, there was fresh air between the Bridgestone tyre and the asphalt. The green card of Vigano working superbly. 4 laps to take his second victory in as many years. Incredible stuff for the Italian, who started the week sick in bed on painkillers, suffering the effects of flu and fever. He's put that behind him. I suggest we'll see an exhausted podium if he can hold on for another 3.5 laps. Irlando now 1.1 seconds behind his countryman. He is not catching him. We've got 3 different Italian drivers in the top 3, 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. Kuhler, he's off the podium. Who would have thought earlier in the weekend when he put it on pole position and took 4 heat wins from 4 starts, he wouldn't even mount the 3rd step. He still may, but it's looking more and more unlikely. The gap, 1.09 seconds between this man, Vigano from Milan in Italy. Irlando, his countryman, in second. From Bari in the south of the same country. Up the back straight they go. Will he look behind? Irlando head down behind the steering wheels, wrenches the gear stick, grabs fifth gear up the back straight. The gap just over a second. Surely Vigano won't make the same mistake. He started the year with the Tony Kart team with so much promise. And to be perfectly blunt, the first few rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series did not go his way. He was back in 15th, 18th DNF on the side of the track. And many, to be perfectly frank, were questioning his move to the team from Prevale. Wow, has he proved them wrong or what? We know he's a talent, we always knew that. Took some time to adjust, and he's come good at exactly right time. Irlando, the gap remains the same. You can see it on the screen. It's officially 1.015 seconds. Riccardo Longhi, he's another 1.1 seconds further back, looking at a podium this afternoon. Vigano down in front of the grandstand here at Genk, which is off screen. You can't see it, but be assured it is there. Louet still goes through. He's in sixth from Gonzalez, who's seventh, the two French drivers. Then the two Swedes, Dahlberg and Skadis. Vigano comes across the line. This is the last lap, the first round of the European Championships. He's on his way to victory. The gap still 1.0 seconds. Gently rides the ripple strip down through the gearbox. Let the Vortex engine do all the work. Irlando still desperately trying to take the win, but I don't think it's going to happen. Down through the chicane for the last time. Up through the infield. Well, after qualifying on pole and taking 4 heat wins from 4 starts, the fairy tale was supposed to be that of the German Leon Kohler. He's fourth. He won't make the podium. The fairy tale will be to Matteo Vigano. He rounds the final corner, and for the second year in a row, he wins the European Championship race here at Genk. He takes the checkered flag and takes a dominant victory this afternoon. Alex Irlando is second. Riccardo Longhi takes the third step of the podium. Commiserations, it's a brilliant result, but after dominating, Leon Kohler will be devastated with fourth place here this afternoon. Martin van Leeuwen was fifth. Tom Louet, the Frenchman, comes home in P6. Nico Gonzalez, seventh. But credit goes to Matteo Vigano, the 301 Tony Kart, the driver from Milan. He didn't think this would happen to him a few days ago when he was lying in his hotel bed suffering from fever. As we take a look at the highlights, this is where it went wrong for Kohler. Off the line, he didn't get the jump and he was forced out wide. A brilliant start by Vigano. He was up into second spot. The Italian Irlando led. Kohler was actually up over the ripple strip, and Vigano forced his way through early on and then simply drove the wheels off the green machine to take victory. Louet, Irlando, they traded positions. This is when Kohler started his attack. He was up into second spot, but there was then soon passed again by Irlando as Vigano, all the while, started to pull away. Kohler down the inside. Aggressive young talent from Frankfurt. Pierre Loubert, the Frenchman who would eventually not finish the race, joining the likes of Schmitz, Rosati, Cilenta, Di Mauro and David Forsloff as the retirements of this race. Nice move by Alex Irlando. Takes the German Kohler. And look how far back Riccardo Longhi was at the end of the back straight. He tried it once, and then he tried it a few corners later. The Birolart takes the third step of the podium. A great drive by Riccardo Longhi to make it Italians 1, 2 and 3. Vigano incredibly wins for the second year in a row here at Genk in Belgium. Let's recap the order for you. You can see the Italian flags, first, second and third. Vigano wins from Irlando. Longhi was third. then it was cooler. He will be devastated with that, but let's give him some credit. It's been a brilliant performance from the German all weekend. The local Martin van Leven from just over the Dutch border was 5th from Louis Gonzalez, Dahlberg, Skadis, and the Lithuanian Rokas Pachuska rounds out the 10. Paolo Ippolito, the driver from the eternal city of Rome, finishing in P11. What a tremendous start to the afternoon. The first of our 3 finals here at Genk in Belgium, KZ2. The kart may have changed, the team may have changed, but the result stays the same. Matteo Vigano from Milan in Italy has won for the Tony Kart Racing team. They will be absolutely delighted with their boy. Their driver has won, and we will hear the Italian national anthem ring out on the podium in a few moments' time. Stay with us live on CIKFIA.tv, the first of our 3 podium presentations coming our way in just a few moments. The second event of the 2017 CIK FIA European Championships live from Genk in Belgium. The podium presentation in just a few moments. here at Genk in Belgium. The drivers just making their way up here to the podium, just preparing to make their way up onto the third, second and third steps here this afternoon. A tremendous drive for the Birol Art team. Third place here today from Italy, Riccardo Longhi. Second place, also from Italy, driving for the CPB Sodicart team, Alex Irlando. He won here last year, but he's all green for 2017 for the second year in a row. The winner, Matteo Vigano. And representing the winning team, the Tony Kart Racing team, Alberto Villino. With great pleasure, I'd like to call on Mr. Koen Lemmens, the CEO of Genk, the home of champions, to present the third place trophy to Riccardo Longhi. Mr. Paul Lemmens, the track owner of Karting Genk, to present the second place trophy to Alex Irlando. And the Vice President of the CIK FIA, Mr. Kees van der Grient, to present the winning trophy to Matteo Vigano. As we stand by for the national anthem of Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, the podium for the first round of the European Championships. Third place, Riccardo Longhi. Second place, Alex Irlando. And the winner, Matteo Vigano. As the girls step in to present the flowers. And also representing the winning team, Tony Kart Racing team, Alberto Villino. And now we stand by for the champagne. Also, the girls to step in and present the magnificent Avio Milano timepieces. Third place, Riccardo. Second place, Alex and Matteo Vigano. We'll step in here for a quick word with the Birol Art team driver, Riccardo Longhi. Riccardo, hai vinto il trofeo Marguti, adesso terzo nel campionato europeo, bravo.
Sì, è stata una gara difficile perché abbiamo sofferto in qualifica e un po' di casino i primi giri, adesso vediamo se ci lasciano il terzo posto, no? comunque dai, siamo stati veloci, è la mia prima gara europea, sono contento di questa prestazione, ma vediamo.
Bravo, Ricardo. Second place, Alex Irlando. Alex, you drove the wheels off that Sodi kart. You tried as hard as you could. In the end, you couldn't quite catch Matteo here today.
Yeah, it was a great race. I want to say thanks to all the Sodi Kart and TM Racing for the amazing job they did this weekend. In the final, I do all my best all the race, but Matteo was a little bit faster than me, so he win the race. Congratulations to him.
Thank you, Alex. Congratulations. Matteo, 3 days ago, you were suffering from the effects of flu and fever. I bet you didn't think you'd make it 2 years in a row. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend because we didn't start very well, but we managed to find the good speed for the final, so this is good for the championship.
Congratulations, Matteo. Winner 2 years in a row. Third place, Ricardo Longhi. Second place, Alex Irlando. And the winner, again, Matteo Vigano. Stay with us. The CIK FIA Academy Trophy final in just a few moments.